So, shall we go into something, whatever the thing is that we're doing?
Yeah.
And yeah, sweet. Sounds good. All righty. So, gotta stretch and do our vocal warm ups. Yeah. All right. So, well, the first thing, as always, is just to be present and arrive from wherever you're arriving from. Find yourself, in a comfortable physical way. Um, they're also, yeah, you can be however you want to be. You can also sit on the floor or on the bed if you want. Um, yeah, so that we're comfortably arranged and comfortable. Yeah, comfortable and reasonably alert is the goal. Although falling asleep is also fine in these contexts because sometimes it just gets so dense that you kind of have to fall asleep. So, so anything's welcome. Meditative or non-meditative. Yeah. Any recent memories that you're still kind of inhabiting can be released. Any futures that you're looking to manifest can also be released. So that we're truly experiencing our own presence and each other's presence. And the presence of those cosmic friends and guides and family who wish to be with us as well. One of the ground rules for all of my groups and everything that I'm ever a part of is that anything that enters our space only be for the good of all beings. Anything which is conditional or negative in any way is not welcome in the space. Um, so there's nothing to worry about. Anything that is allowed into our group space is going to be for the highest good of us individually, as well as all other beings on this planet and the planet herself. So we'll just kind of drift into our sweet spot, whatever that is. Maybe find a new sweet spot that you have not experienced before. And set a conscious intention, if this resonates with you, to have your heart be open so that you can fully experience and fully participate in all forms of communication and healing and general betterment that are going to be in the space. And I'm getting a very strong beam of purple light that's kind of moving around our heart centers and connecting the group. So if you like, you can see, feel, or sense that energy. Which will help us have our hearts activated and available. And this will also assist us in creating a nice, coherent, enjoyable frequency for the group together. So if it feels good, let this purple light pour into your being and pour forth from your being through your heart into all your channels and meridians and nodes, places and times. And we'll let that intensify. If you like, you can envision this essence or energy permeating your whole being, moving along all your channels, rooting you deeply in the present moment. And if it feels right, you can send out some of these tendrils or channels, reaching them out into the earth. And the heart of the earth also receives a transmission of violet light. And throughout her bodies and throughout her channels, the light courses and activates spiritual potentials. So we share this experience with Gaia, literally and figuratively. And if you're like me, you'll probably find that you're sending and receiving at the same time. You're producing this violet light. You're also receiving it. Any doubts or fears or attachments to pain can be released as well. Any negative experiences that you've had with extraterrestrials can be released for the moment. And some of us here have had a wide variety of experiences, both negative and positive, on both conscious and unconscious levels. I invite us all to release all the negative experiences for the time being. With the understanding that anything negative left in the space is here solely for the purpose of being transmuted into positivity, with no other purpose. I invite us each to continue to feel our channels, meridians, nodes, vortices opening and flowing with this rather delicious light or feeling. understanding and remembering that Gaia is going through the same thing. And that there are many beings in many realms engaging in a similar process, their own version of this process. And it feels like the way we're going to connect today is by all doing this together. You can let your body feel it. You can breathe into it. You can let your physical senses become aligned with your higher senses so that you receive information more directly through your body. And these pathways of light that I perceive to be violet, or they could be anything you perceive them to be, are connecting and aligning our physical senses with our higher senses. So we're all going to be relatively awake and receptive. Unafraid to be psychic and telepathic. These are natural states. And any fear you have about these things can be released. Any cultural do's and don'ts that you have around these things can be released. As we relax into our natural telepathic state. Free from any concept of shortcoming, complete exactly as we are. Not approaching our star family as better or worse, but as peers, as equals. And if you like, you can have another round of relaxing into the violet energies. Let your body mind savor it. And I want to say, if you find yourself jumping to different wavelengths, like white light in particular, or jumping to different places, I'll just suggest that you stay with the group and stay with the slower moving energy, because we're all using this to ground together. Some of us have a temptation to jump right off into the fastest available vibration. So I'm just suggesting that we go at the pace of the group. And a little more deepening and relaxing into the group frequency. You don't have to do it if it feels too annoying, but just inviting us to sync up together. Now I'm going to invite us to let that space expand so that it's not just a point in our heart, but actually engulfs what we can perceive, so that we all enter this purple space together as if it was magnified to fill the room, to fill the city, fill the earth. The same space that we've been in, but we're just going to enter it inside of it. Don't be afraid to get really big with it. It can extend out into space, into the core of the earth. Could be the whole galaxy. We're just going to start experiencing our heart space as bigger space. And let your body and your mind feel the joy and the alignment that comes from allowing that space to fill up everything you can sense. And in this purple space, maybe it's just around your body, maybe it's the room, or again, maybe it's the solar system, with no judgment about how big or small it is. Within this purple space, we easily and naturally encounter those beings that we have intended to encounter in this moment. And with great joy, without any fear, as an equal, I invite each of us to greet those beings that are here for us personally. And those beings that are here for the group. And let yourself flow easily and naturally into exchange, welcome, contact, sharing minds, with absolutely no pressure to experience anything verbal or to experience anything at all. Just our hearts resonating in sympathy and in alignment with the hearts of our star family. And I just want to name that the Zeta Reticulans are here because several of us are connecting to them with no pressure to connect or not connect to that particular group, but just feeling them very present. Also, bear in mind you can have as much or as little contact as you desire in this moment. If anything feels even vaguely overwhelming, you can just come back to your own heart space and come back to the heartbeat of the group. If you feel inclined to do something with your attention, you might ask for insight, for healing, perhaps to learn more about your mission, more about who you are. A lot of these beings will be familiar, having been with us from lifetime to lifetime. So you can also remember yourself on the soul level as you are from life to life. And now's the time for those of you who have been wanting to leap to a faster vibration. You're welcome to do that. So perhaps within the big purple space, there's other stuff, white light or clear light, pink light, other things I can't even describe. If you feel called, you can let your personal vibration accelerate beyond where the group is. I also want to name, we have a group that I'm getting as the Kaelians. Kaelians. Kael. Kael. Seeing it as Kael. In addition to many more familiar beings to me. And there's a simple message to the group, which is always remember to be in service. You'll never go astray if it's your basic intention to be in service and of service. And I'm also feeling a tremendous amount of joy from the beings that we're connecting to. At this time, I wish to specifically welcome different forms of encouragement, support, rejuvenation, revitalization for us as individuals and for the group. And on behalf of all the humans of planet Earth, we happily receive support, love, encouragement, upgrades, downloads of a positive nature, assistance in the highest forms. And we trust in our basic purity. We trust that anything that comes is meant to come. Anything that goes is meant to go. And there's a little more room for those of us that want to accelerate further. We also specifically welcome any assistance for planet Earth, which comes from the highest intentions. And we allow that energy, that love, that light to flow through us into the earth. And if you have intentions or prayers for your ascended reality, for Earth in the fifth dimension and beyond, those intentions and prayers are welcomed at this time. They are to be heard directly by Mother Earth with no interference. I invite us each to remember ourselves as gods and goddesses, and co-creators with the mind of Gaia. Remembering our divine essence, our spiritual blueprints, remembering ourselves as having been designed and intended to please the galaxy and to uplift the earth. And here we are living our purpose. And I invite us each to imagine or to remember that however far out we feel right now, however removed from our usual selves, we can remember that this is going to be our normal quite soon. And there's more and more beyond this experience in a constant spiral of learning. I invite us each to remember that our reference points will completely change. and that we're just treating ourselves to a sneak peek at our new normal. So there's actually no difficulty in integrating any of this energy because it is soon to become part of us. And anything that we see in our friends and guides, the beings here with us, will soon be ours as well. I invite us to breathe into that and to feel into that and to let it be easy and bright and grounding on a new and different level of what grounding means. Those of you who are way out ahead of the group, I'm going to invite you to slowly start to come back to the group. And there's no such thing as being behind the group, so you don't have to worry about that. Just gently and easily integrate your higher learning into your normal learning and your lower learning. We'll come back to shared space together for a while. Remembering that there's infinitely more to communicate, infinitely more to attain, to transcend, to know, and comfortable with the fact that we don't have to have all of that at once. That this is just one step along our journeys. So if you find yourself in your light body, I invite you to gently and easily step down those vibrations and come back to the higher aspects of the physical body. Back to this big purple space that we share together. Taking a few moments in our ready room to integrate what has been communicated and shared. If you like, you can also interact with other group members on a higher level. Can have a little psychic debrief before we come back to our regular spaces. And sharing is very much encouraged. Probably not in words at this time, but just inviting energies, sharing energies. I've kept having this image of this ball of light being passed around in our purple room. So coming back to the physical body, the higher aspects of the physical, downloading yourself from your light body. In a sense, channeling your own consciousness back into your body. Really let that sink in. Coming back to the physical, remembering that you came from light and you can go back there at any time, making the choice to become physical. And we're going to, in a sense, start over with a very similar exercise to where we started. For those of you that are awake and listening, we're going to do exactly what we did before, starting from the heart, returning to the present. But this time, I invite us to see, sense, or feel a green light moving within the heart. Probably starting as a tiny point or a seed. And germinating into a flowering plant of truth and groundedness. Letting this green light come from within your heart and move out, circulate through all your channels, meridians, nodes, vortices, places and times. And Gaia does this as well. Gaia comes from her purple throne room and comes back into her green room. And green light flows easefully from her heart through all of her subterranean realities, through all her land masses and oceans, out to the air above. And so too for each of us, green light coming from within the heart, moving throughout the body, throughout the mind and spirit. Easefully and gradually allow the green light to become the primary experience that you're having in this moment. And we can let the purple space fade away. The green light can also be sound, or it can be through your other senses, touch, smell, taste. Let your senses engage with that experience of green light, whatever it is. It could simply be the chlorophyll of planet Earth coming back to greet you, welcoming you back to your physical experience. It could be the music within your bones, reminding you at a core level that you are present here as a physical human being. The green light of your present experience courses through you, restores you to your place and your time, coming fully back from infinity, back to being what is considered a finite being. Back to the desires of your body, mind. Into the spaces that we call air and earth, fire and water. Journeying back to waking consciousness. Opening your eyes, perhaps, if they're closed. With no rush to do any of this stuff. We'll have a bit of a break so we can reconstitute.